How's everyone doing? It's Jerome Parker, and we are live here today. And today we are doing games. I know I've been saying we're going to do games for a long time, and we are finally doing it. Today is the first stream. Of course, this is going to be a series. There's going to be multiple videos. I'm really looking forward to doing this because gaming is actually why I got into computer science into the first place. Well, it's the main thing that drove me to continue learning computer science. It wasn't what actually got me in computer science, but that's another story for another day. But I've been writing games for a long time. I started my first couple programs were video games, and when I got into the whole app world, corporate world, I kind of left games alone for a while, and now I'm back at it because it's fun. So, long story short, if you haven't already, please like this video, share it on social media, and if you're not subscribed, why aren't you subscribed? Hit that subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Make sure you tap that bell so you get notified whenever I go live, because all my videos are live, and join me. So, today we are using Babylon.js to create some video games. Like I said, I'm doing a whole. This is going to be multiple playlists. I'm going to make a video game playlist after today's stream, and there's going to be multiple sections in this playlist. So we're going to do web games. We're going to do mobile games / console games because I'm going to do a Unity series. But we're going to start off with web games because it is the lowest barrier of entry. So we're starting off with web games. We're using Babylon.js. And what is Babylon.js? Babylon.js is a WebGL video game library that allows you to use web audio, web VR, HTML5, and WebGL to build powerful 3D games. So for those of you who aren't familiar with WebGL, it's a new, or quote, quote, new, it's a standard in HTML, allows you to use shader code to program and talk to the computer graphics card to render high performance graphics. Or in the case of crypto miners, mine cryptocurrency. So, you know, we can do high def gaming using web VR. If you have an Oculus Rift or whatever, you can build VR games, web audio, and but here's why I like it. You can use Unity models, so it's cross-platform with the type of assets that you can import into the game engine. So if you're used to doing Unity or are familiar with Unity meshes or whatnot, then this is easy to come to. So what are some of the, let's look at some of these demos, right? There's this pool, the pool game. So, you know, with it being, you know, you can make it a progressive web app or whatnot, and so it loads up instantly. Let's do normal AI. Place the cue ball. Okay. Basic controls: aiming, left, right, stand. Okay. I got you. I thought this was pool. What is this? Billiards? I don't know how to play this. Anyway, this is all done in web, so you can see it looks really nice and whatnot. Go ahead and exit out of there. And I could go and show you more and more stuff, and I will as we continue to build new games. This one's real cool. So this one is San Francisco crime data based on geolocation as a heat map. I think it's pretty cool. I can't remember where it's at where I can actually see it, but you know, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do. So picture like Pokemon Go, right? So you know how Pokemon Go, when you open up the game, you have people like it shows the geolocation of where you're at on like a Google map looking kind of view. So you know you can make that, you can do that, and then if you have the right data, you can actually make the mountains and stuff, which is something we're gonna do actually later down the line. But yeah, so it's really easy to get started. You know, you can make it work for your mobile. If you there's a controller API, so you know if you have the drivers or whatnot for your PlayStation controller, Xbox controller, what have you, you can hook up with the controller and play the game that way, which we will demonstrate. I need to make sure that I have the drivers for my PlayStation controller on the Mac. I know I got it on my laptop, but I'll do a demo with that so you can see. But you know, what computer gaming? I love console gaming. I'm gonna always, as long as consoles are around, I'm going to do console gaming. But PC gaming is really where my heart is at. You know, I'm a big fan of RuneScape. What I really want to do is make a RuneScape-like game. You know, using this engine. It's my ultimate goal. But you know, that takes time and team members and money that I just don't have right now. But I can do tutorials. Maybe you guys can help me out, make it an open source game. That'd be dope. All right, so let me see. Do I have my virtual machine? All right, cool. Let me go ahead and log in here. So basically what we're going to be doing today is just setting up the environment and creating a world. So we're going to use Laravel in Vue. The reason why I want to do Laravel is because eventually we are going to be adding back-end code. I want us to make a game that's going to be multiplayer online type of thing. So we'll need some back-end to handle all that. And then Vue.js just handles, it's just really good with handling the view layer and just organizing the code. Let's head over here to Atom and create a new project. Go to packages, toggle. That's not it. There's a command somewhere where I haven't made this on GitHub or anything, but I know there's some command on here which will allow me to create a new project from a GitHub. Oh, is this it? No, that's a terminal. That's good. All right. Or maybe it's right here. New repository. Yeah. Alright, we're gonna put this, we're gonna call this Babylon demo. And then Babylon.js demo game. And initialize this with a readme. Don't want to do that. Let's go ahead and new. Demo. All right. My Mac runs so slow. Oh snap, got 3 people on. I didn't even notice. Oh, Team Shooty Shoot, what's up? What's up, Team Shooty Shoot? If y'all don't follow Team Shooty Shoot, y'all need to follow Team Shooty Shoot. Those are my homies. Let's see. Maybe it's in my user Parker. Where's it at? Programs. There we go. And then we have Babylon demo open. Good God. All right. And the license. We'll make this new license. All right. Got 4 people watching. Nice. All right, cool. So we got that set up, and that's still installing. So that's still installing. So let's go to the docs, and we'll start there and just start talking while that's doing that thing. So basically, you know, it's really easy to set up. You have the game engine, which runs a render loop, right? It's the same with most game engines. I think all game engines have a render loop. Inside your render loop, you have all your different game assets, and they have render loops. And, you know, you can do things like collision detection. You can move their position. You can make them do animations. It's basically the same logic over and over and over, right? You have the idea of cameras, and that's where your point of view is. If it's a first person, third person, angle view. You have the idea of lighting and shadows, and that's actually how you get the lighting and shadow aspect is actually how you get the really advanced graphics. And we'll go over that. I'll show you an example of a world made with no shadows versus a world rendered with shadows. Same materials, but same meshes, same materials, is going to look completely different. All right. Okay. So that's done. Where's my mouse at? All right. CD Babylon demo, and we're going to do a PHP artisan key generate our key. And we're going to do, now first thing we need to do is we need to install Babylon.js as a dependency. So we are going to oh wait, that's not what I want to be. It's not where I want to be either. Oh no, I don't need that either. I need to just go to GitHub, I suppose. We'll use npm install Babylon.js. Yep, npm install Babylon.js.save. Install Babylon.js -- save. And that's going to install Babylon.js as well as install the rest of our npm dependencies, so we can it will just install that apparently. All right, let's install the rest of our dependencies. Now while it's doing that, let's go ahead and add our project folder. And go back to projects, or programs rather, and then Babylon demo. I'm gonna go ahead and open that. All right, so let's go ahead and get our front page together. I don't really care about any of this. We just need the div ID equals up. styles. ID equals app. And get rid of this style. Don't need none of that. Get rid of this link. I'll keep up the style right there. And then we're gonna make that an environment variable. And that's that for that. That's still installing. All right. While that's installing, let's look at what we have to do. All right. So the first thing we need to do is we need to import Babylon.js into our project. So we're using Vue.js, so we're gonna do this little. We're just gonna grab this import statement right here. We're gonna head over to our assets directory, JS, yeah, app.js. We should just boom. Yeah, I should be able to just do that. Should work on its own. Import Babylon.js. All right. So, like I said before, you have to have a render loop, and that render loop has to render to an HTML canvas object. So instead of your HTML, the only thing that you need is a canvas object. So let's just head over to tutorials, documentation. That's the JavaScript documentation. All right, so here we're just gonna copy this canvas. All right, so we're gonna have a canvas with an ID called the render canvas. We can call it whatever we want, but oh well. First thing we need to do is we need to edit our components. My bad. We're gonna get rid of all this in the div. I'm just gonna put a canvas. We're gonna let's save this and let's rename it. We're gonna call this the game component. And let's go to Bootstrap, run that app, and we're gonna change example component to game component, and we're gonna change to game component. I'll save that. Back over here. It's not game component. We have a created function. And then number of data. Yeah, okay. Data, okay. All right, data, return canvas. That's going to be an empty object. Engine, going to be an empty object. And then this dot. We're going to make a function because this is going to quickly get spaghetti code. So we're going to create game environment methods. All right, methods. We're gonna make a create game environment function. This dot canvas equals document dot get element by ID render canvas, and that was done. Okay, we got the canvas. Okay, cool, awesome, that's there. Let's go ahead and npm run watch poll. I'll take care of that for us. We're not using the Laravel side right now, so just running the basic artisan serve command will serve our purpose. Let's head back over to here. All right, so after we create the canvas, the next thing we need to do is we have to load the 3D engine. And to do that, there is a built-in static method or static class, a Babylon class, where it has an engine generator function. So we're going to call a new instance of the Babylon.engine. We're going to pass the canvas. I can't remember what the second parameter of the engine function is, but we always set it to true. And then we pass in some options. In this case, we're going to do preserve drawing buffer and stencil. And then after that, we create a scene. So first things first, we're going to load the engine. Make sure. All right, cool. So there was an error. I forgot to put a comma. Let's save. So this dot engine equals new Babylon dot engine. We're gonna pass it this dot canvas. We're gonna call this true, and we're just gonna call it preserve drawing buffer. I'll set that to true, and stencil. We'll set that to true, I believe. Don't quote me. Awesome. All right, and then we're gonna create the scene. And this create scene function, we're going to break this up into separate functions. So let's go through and let's go through and talk about what's going on in this scene. Okay. So, or in this function. So you're going to create a new Babylon scene, which is a basic scene object, and you pass the engine into that scene. So scene belongs to an engine. Okay. You're then going to attach a camera, and we're going to set it as an initial position to x, y, z. X equals 0, y equals 5, and z equals -10. When you're doing 3D game development, everything is in a not a tetrahedron. Is it a tetrahedron? Yeah. It's a three-dimensional tetrahedron XYZ axis. So you think like a unit cube. You got your, however you do it, your X, Y, and Z, and you're like in a giant cube. Okay, and that's your world. So you're setting the camera. You think of like the very middle of the plane is like 0, 0, 0. You're setting your camera if this is X, this is Y, and this is Z, or yeah, you're setting the camera like down here and over here. You'll see on the world when it gets drawn, it'll make more sense. So we're going to set what's called a free camera, and that's a camera that can rotate in all directions. You can have a fixed camera or a free camera. There's different kinds of cameras, and as the videos progress, we'll use different types for different types of games. Long story short, we set the camera, and then we set the target of the camera to the origin. So the target is what the camera is looking at. So when you're looking at the screen, you're looking at what the camera is looking at in the game engine. And we're going to set it to look at the 0, 0, 0, which is the origin. And there's a shortcut for that by using the Babylon.vector3.0. So then you're going to, and then after that, you're going to attach the camera to the canvas. So we attach control to the canvas. Now the canvas can control the camera. And then we're going to set a basic light, and we're going to put it at 0, 1, 0, which is the sky. So 0, 1, 0 is straight up above the origin. This is the Y, this is the X, and this is the Z. So we're going to set the light up at the very top, shining down. That's the sun. Then we're going to make a built-in sphere. So there's different kinds of meshes, and a mesh is any 3D object that's in the game engine. So whether it's a sphere, a cube, a tree, a dragon, a knight, whatever it is, they're all meshes. So you can make a basic sphere mesh with Babylon. And if you come from Unity, you know all this already. We're going to create a sphere. Its constructor is going to take in 6 parameters. You're going to take the name, the segment, the diameter, the scene that is attached to, is it updatable, and its side orientation. What does it look like when it's on the side? Okay. And as soon as I can get over here. And then we're going to move the sphere upward 1/2 of its height. Sphere.position.y. Okay, so it's floating. All right, create a built-in ground shape. Its constructor takes in 6 parameters. So the last thing we're going to do is we're going to create a ground. So its parameters are name, width, height, subdivision, scene, and updatable. So I can. All right, and then we're going to return the scene. All right. And then we're going to call the create scene function. All right, cool. And then after we call the create scene function, we're going to call the engine run render loop, which is that game loop I was talking about. And then inside that, we're going to call the scene render loop. And then lastly, we're going to add a window.listen. We're going to add an event listener for the window so that as it resizes, the engine resizes, which causes the window and the scenes or whatever to resize. Pretty simple. So let's get it loaded up. These dependencies were not found. Well, let's go ahead and add those real quick. All right, so I got the engine. So we're gonna have this create scene. Let's create scene function. All right, I'm gonna just copy that, and in methods, we'll create scene. Ooh, I hate that. All right. And everywhere. See this dot engine, and then the camera. Now we got the camera. That definitely says, it should say canvas, not canvas. Canvas. All right, this dot canvas. We definitely want to have a sphere object in the data, because we're going to be controlling and doing all sorts of stuff with that. All right, so we got the sphere. So it's here. It's here one. Then we're going to move the sphere. And then we got the ground. We're going to make this turn scene. All right, cool. Style scene equals this dot create scene. All right, so we got our canvas, we got our scene, and this should be everything for right this second. Let's go ahead and let's watch. And granted, yes, I didn't have to use Vue.js, but for those of you who watched my live streams before know that I prefer working with Vue.js because of all the features that it offers, but also it's also to prove a point that going from apps to games isn't that difficult, and you can use the existing technologies that you were using to create some pretty cool games. But yeah, I mean, my whole goal eventually is to go back heavy into the gaming market. Like I said, I want to focus on PC games. You know, the streaming, this era of streaming, high performance computing gonna allow for some crazy browser games. I honestly, I don't think consoles are gonna survive another 2 generations. I think consoles are gonna be done after like 2 generations, but we'll see. All right, so we got that. Let's open up a new tab and let's do a vagrant SSH. And let's head back over to programs. Let's go over to Babylon. And then let's do a PHP artisan serve port equals 3466. All right. And let's head over. Oh, you know what? This ain't even gonna work. I forgot because I gotta put it in the I gotta put it in the mount function method call, not the create method call. But I'll explain that after it crashes. Yeah, .10.10. I want that 10.10. Refuse to connect. Still working. Sorry, I'm trying to get it to come up. Having VM issues. Okay, so that's working, but it's not. All right, let's see. CD programs, Babylon, demo, PHP, artisan, serve. Yeah, that's what I thought. Just need to test this. All right, I guess I'm gonna have to. I didn't want to have to do all this, but it looks like I'm gonna have to edit my VM file real quick. So hold on. All right, let's do. Game.test. We have Babylon demo. Exit, yes. And Vagrant Pro. Oh wait, before we do that, sudo nano / Etsy host. And then we have game.test. And then we do vagrant provision. And provision. I feel like that went really fast. Let's see. Game.test. Alright. Yep. Alright. And this crashed because everything wasn't mounted yet. I need to put all this into the mounted function call. This was everything's up and running up on the DOM. Oh, also I didn't finish running the engine or anything, but you know, we'll get that going too. So after I make the scene, I need to I need to run the engine, and I need to do the window call. All right. It's weird, didn't copy. So that should work. Make sure that's running. Okay. And why isn't this working? So let's go to inspect. Go to console. Okay. Oh, I know why it's not working. Because we are not importing the JavaScript right here. All right, that should. View cannot find element app. Oh, I think I do gotta put this at the bottom. CSRF token not found. All right, let's see why. Oh, goodness gracious, I'm dense. I'm sorry. Game component. Game component. Alright, cool. Console. Cannot read property scene of undefined. Ah. There's always these promises. I don't even know the reason why you have to do that. It's something about the scope. But that should be this. Or that. Alright, it's building. Wow, my back hurts. Alright, cool. As you can see, you got a ball. You got a ball and a plane. Why isn't this? This is small. Let's make this bigger. And hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Hey guys, one of my kids just hurt themselves, so I need to help mama out with daddy duties. So I'm gonna have to cut this short, but luckily we got it up. I actually wasn't gonna do much more than this. I was just going to make this full screen. Let me see. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, I think, wait a minute. I'm sorry, I know what I need to do. Let me just do this real quick. So here's what we got. You got your basic controls with your arrow keys, and you move the position with the mouse. So next week, or not next week, rather Wednesday, we'll add a skybox, we'll add some dynamic terrain, and we will add some usable characters. But I just wanted this to show you how easy it is to get up and running. We're under an hour, and most of that was waiting for stuff to compile. So I'm looking forward to Wednesday. I'm gonna have this code up on my GitHub. It'll be github.com/mastershake08/Babylon-demo. So like I said, guys, until next time, like and subscribe to the channel, share, and we will see you soon.